Hi there, it's John Mansell, ex-boozehound. Hope you're doing okay. I'm pretty sure this vlog is not going to be positive. If I manage to get things out of my head, I'm going to say stuff that will make people angry. But there seems to be there's an awful lot of people out there at the moment that are willing to say stuff that makes me angry and couldn't give a shit, so I don't give a shit either. A couple of weeks ago, a site that I've popped up on Twitter, and it posted a post about the fact that in October, November and December 2019 there'd been a big increase in people taking their own lives, and in that 3-month period I think it was something like 1,413 people had taken their own lives, and 74% of those people were men, and roughly in my age category. I'm 47 years old. I think obviously things are a little bit more difficult than they usually are at the moment, and again, personally, I know I've gone into a dip again because of the weather last week not being conducive to getting out and about and getting fresh air and well, again, I'm unable to meet up with people. Not that I do anyway, because I spend most of my life isolated, and that isolation has got nothing to do with COVID. It's just to do with the way that I live my life, and I think the way that an awful lot of people with mental health issues live their lives. I know for sure that I have people around me that if I was to call them, they'd be there straight away, and I got a lot of support from friends and family. But as someone with mental health issues, sometimes I choose the isolation because you don't have to put on a false face or whatever. You just sort of get on with living miserably. And on Monday I was feeling low and lost in the morning, but the weather wasn't too bad, so I decided to get out and have a walk. And as I was walking along, the tears started rolling out of my eyes from behind my sunglasses, and I was walking down to my local town centre, Halesowen, and all I could think about was, I just don't think I can cope living this life anymore. I know that's dramatic and whatever, but it's been a long time since I've had any happiness or any fulfillment or any purpose in my life. And again, that's relative, because it depends on the mood that I'm in. And as I was walking down towards Halesowen, and again, this is something that people won't want to hear, but if I'm feeling this way, then I know a lot of others will be as well. So I'm walking down towards Halesowen, and as you walk down the Hagley Road, all you can see for a long way is at the bottom Asda, and obviously you know where I'm going with this, Asda's car park. And as I was walking down, crying behind my glasses, my thoughts were to go and throw myself off, and just finish the pain and the anguish and the lack of happiness, lack of purpose, the utter disappointments in life. And you know, so as I got to the bottom of the road, I could see, you know, obviously the top of the car park, and I sort of imagined myself on the pavement at the bottom of it, dead. And that didn't feel good, to be honest. And as I've said many times before, I may have suicidal thoughts and, you know, want things to end, and I do struggle with life, and I don't enjoy life. But it's still, I've said before and I'll say it again, it's still something that I'll never do. But with those statistics in mind, I guess it was on my mind, and I posted something along the lines of, if you work out the statistics, it's about 15 people a day in England take their own lives, and as I say, 74% of those are men. And there's an awful lot of stuff on the news at the moment about inequalities and discrimination, and I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, and I don't really want to make upset people, you know, but you know, there's an awful lot of discrimination and what was the other word I used? Discrimination and inequalities when it comes to people with mental health issues, addiction issues, or whatever. The government have absolutely done the right thing with the furlough pay scheme, paying people 80% of their salary. But that does question something, doesn't it? Because why is it that people are able to be paid 80% of their salaries? Why couldn't they just go on to universal credit or job seekers allowance or whatever? And the reason behind that is that the whole world knows that you, in the UK or in England or whatever, the money that you receive by way of benefits, you can't live a life on. You can't rebuild a life on. You are held back by the man, if that sounds a bit whatever. So basically I'm on employment support allowance, which means I get £130 a week. And don't get me wrong, you know, yeah, obviously I'm grateful for that, because I'd be fucked without it. But at the end of this month, I have got to pay my car tax, which is £205. So that is, what, 1.5 weeks' salary. I've also got an MOT coming up on my car. So if there's any work need doing, you know, quite easily, you know, if I've got to pay 200 quid or whatever it is to get it through the MOT, then again that's 1.5 weeks salary for me. You know, the there's a lot of discrimination financially, and there's a lot of inequalities financially for people with mental health issues, and people are being paid 80% of their salary because they can't work through no fault of their own. Well, I can't work through no fault of my own. I can't work because I have an illness, and I don't have the consistency to be able to commit to part-time or full-time work. And in all honesty, you know, I'm pretty sure that within a few months of doing any sort of regular work, I'd end up having another breakdown, and I can't. There's no way in the world I can survive another breakdown. I don't think I want to. So why is it okay for people like myself with a mental illness to be treated with less dignity than people without a mental illness? How am I supposed to live a life with £130 a month? It's impossible. So you are kept down, and you just do what a lot of people with mental health issues do. We exist. That's it. We don't live. We exist. And nothing will be done about that. There won't be any commissions set up or any task forces to look into it. It's just accepted that if you have a mental illness, you're a second-class citizen, discriminated against financially, and also personally. People don't want to be around you. People don't want to listen to your bullshit. People don't trust you. People can't love you. And you just get left behind. Now, I don't know whether what I've just said makes any sense, or whether people will accept it. And you know what? I don't really give a shit. I'm going to post it anyway. You know? No, it's not good for me to talk about imagining myself lying on a pavement beneath Asda car park. But there'll be an awful lot of people out there that are thinking the same and have nobody to talk about it to. I guess the reason why I'm talking about it is hopefully to help others talk about what they're going through at the moment and voice their thoughts. Because if you voice your thoughts, you can see how much little sense that they do make. You know, it's living a life with mental health issues is very tough. you never know from one day to the next what mood you're going to be in, and you know, you people look at you as if to say, you're lazy and whatever. They don't understand that when we talk about having no motivation, we genuinely mean it. You know, it's hell, it's horrendous to have so little self-esteem, to have such a low opinion of yourself, to believe, maybe in a paranoid way, that people look down on you. You know, genuinely, I was thinking to myself the other day, I just don't think I can live another, 30 years with the ups and downs and the ins and outs and the lack of happiness and lack of fulfillment, living distant from people, you know, being in isolation for so many hours of the day. I guess this is the point where I have to turn it round. And I hope people have continued to watch, but yes, I'm currently living with no happiness, no fulfillment, total disappointment in my life. When you're in this frame of mind, you can't remember anything good about your life. You just see it as a pointless waste of time. However, having said all that, I'm not going to become a statistic. And I don't want you to either. So if you do have similar thoughts to me about taking your own life in these difficult times, then ignore them. You're worth more than that. And you know, you are worth more than that, because no matter how lonely you feel or unloved you feel or useless you feel, I guarantee you there's an awful lot of people out there that care about you and love you and would be devastated if you were to die in such circumstances. I don't know whether the bit I was talking about with regard to the fact that us people with mental health issues or addiction issues or whatever, we're discriminated against. We live in a life in inequality. You know, as I say, the government are able to find the money to pay people 80% of their income, and rightly so. But the reason they've had to do that, again, as I say, is because they know full well that the money that we get through not working, through no fault of our own, because we have an illness, is just not livable on. You can't live on it. You can exist on it, but you can't live on it, you know. And I don't know, maybe that's something that people should think about. I know people have got a negative thought process when you know, a lot of people have got a negative thought process when it comes to people who do live on benefits. But you know, I see a psychiatrist. I've been through various what they call reviews to see whether I'm eligible for the benefits that I receive. I'm not well enough to work, and because of that I'm penalised, I'm discriminated against, and I live a life in inequality. You know, even, you know, when we come out of lockdown, you know, if we wanted to have a great day out to Alton Towers, what's that? That's 30-40 quid plus another, you know, something to eat, something to drink, petrol money to get there. Again, you know, a day out can cost a week, can quite easily cost me 1 week's income. How do you live a life, and a fulfilled or a happy life, when you're restricted every day by the lack of money? And I said in a vlog recently that for the first time in a long time, it seems that we've put a bigger value on life than we have on money. But all those people out there that are talking about being discriminated against and living an unequal life, I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but I'm in the same place. I am white. I'm definitely not privileged, and because of my illness, it's accepted that it's okay for me to live an unfulfilling and unhappy life. So I'm discriminated against as well. I have to deal with the stigma. I couldn't give a shit about the stigma, if I'm honest. But we are unequal. Life is unequal, and whether this pisses people off, I couldn't give a shit. You know, it is what it is. I try to end my vlogs positively, and it's going to be difficult after that shit, innit? But I was walking towards Asda crying behind my sunglasses. 47-year-old man had to go around to his mum's house because he lost complete and utter energy. He went round his mum's house and he burst into tears and had to get a lift back from her. You know, 47-year-old man still needs his mum because he's crying, because he's upset because of the life he has to lead. I still have no shame about that. It is what it is. It's part of the illness. Me talking about suicide and inequalities and discrimination probably isn't the best thing to do. But if you're anywhere near those thoughts with regard to, can you cope with this life? Is there any point to this life? Do I have any purpose? Step back, give yourself some time. It may well be that you need to have a few days where you're just relaxing and trying to stay calm, because you are worth it. There's a lot of people around you that would miss you just unbelievably. And for me, the way I look at it is, I'm not going to let those fucking demons beat me, and you shouldn't too. We have a purpose. These times are difficult, and it is getting more and more difficult for me at the moment, and I would assume for you guys as well. But it will get better. It always does. And you know, hang in there, and don't let the bastards grind you down, and enjoy the good and ride out the bad. It probably won't be something that people will want to share, but if you can, please share the vlog. Please like it or comment or subscribe to the channel. and I hope next time I see you things will be a lot more positive. Take it easy, catch you soon, ta-ra.